Expensive, so today's lunch I skipped.
We've been impacted by friends that are leaving because of
The rents are
the rents
crazy.
are crazy.
I feel like the rules here are like so strict. Like sometimes, I just want to get loose a little bit.
Hey bosses, it's Eleanor from Asian Boss. Did you know that almost 30% of Singapore's population is made up of foreigners? But why do so many people choose to move to Singapore, and where do they come from? Today, we hit the streets of Singapore to ask expats about their experience living and working in Singapore. Let's go. So first of all, where are you guys originally from and how long have you been living here?
Originally from India, been living here about 11 years now.
Yeah, I'm from India as well. I've been living here for 15 years.
I'm from Malaysia about 7 years.
We are from Brazil and we are living here for almost 2 years.
Almost 2 years. I come from Italy, and let's say so far so good.
So originally from Sydney, Australia, and we've been here about six and a half years.
Yeah, I'm originally from New Zealand, but we lived in Australia before here.
Yeah.
She's Australian.
So 6.5 years is a pretty long time, right?
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself expat or a local?
Oh, I don't think I could call myself local.
But probably still expat, but we love living in Singapore.
We love living here.
And we have no intention on leaving anytime soon.
I'm originally from the UK. I've been here since 2017. I just got my PR in principle approved, so I think I'm starting to, and I live in an HDB with my Singaporean wife, so I'd like to think I'm closer to local than I am expat at this point.
I'm originally from Thailand and I have been living here on and off almost 11 years. It's 11 years, I think. It has been a long time.
Yeah, so 11 years is a really long time. Do you consider yourself local or expat?
Almost half-half, I would say. Yeah, half-half.
Originally, I'm from Denmark and I've been living here for 34 years. 32 years, something like that. I'm more or less a local.
So what is the difference, would you think, between a local and an expat? At what point does an expat become a local?
What happens normally with expats is that after maybe 3-4 years, they have to take a decision to stay or to go back where they come from or take another job.
I think expats would be not Singaporean or like Singaporean Malaysian. Technically, they're like international people or like coming from other countries and then work and live here in Singapore. Yeah,
that's a good question. I guess I would look at an expat more from the point of view of their long-term outlook in Singapore. So do they plan to stay in Singapore for a long time, retire here, versus are they looking at it as a stop between their next destination? Yeah.
Expat is more like that you're not going to be here for like forever, but for local is like this is your home and everything, whatever happened, culture-wise and everything, it will be like based here in Singapore.
And actually 30% of the Singapore population are not local, they're foreigners. So why do you think so many people want to live and work in Singapore?
It's a good base. It is safe, it's stable, that's it. And a lot of business use Singapore as a hub because it's easier to approach different part of Asia.
I can only speak from my personal perspective, but I'd say the quality of life, the ease of kind of getting set up, whether you're a business owner or you're coming here to work for a company, is remarkably different. And I think there's just a general sense of openness to the idea of foreign labor, of immigrants, and a real demand, particularly in the workforce, for people with skills and kind of with capabilities that can help the nation positively. So I'd say it's a really attractive place to come.
It has really good career opportunities. So for a lot of people here, actually most of the expats that I meet here do move here for career. And I think both in terms of the financial sector as well as tech now, it's really booming. So I would say that's probably the reason why so many foreigners choose to be here. And I think it's amazing to travel around the region.
Singapore is really, expat friendly. People speak English here like everywhere. And then to the point where everywhere is like so convenient to get around. And a very developed country, so that's why it's attracting like a lot of expat coming here to work and live.
Why did you decide to come and work in Singapore?
I'm here because my company flew me here, so yeah, there's like a project going on. That's why I need to be here.
Post-Brexit, the UK was in a really bad place. The mood was very low. And at that point in my career, I really wanted a change. I wanted exposure to a more dynamic region, a place where I thought I would kind of professionally and personally grow. And I think for me, Singapore was the best of both worlds. It was a place where I could communicate easily and a place where I could kind of travel and kind of get that exposure that I was looking for. So that was the combination of things that drew me to it.
To survive. For others, I'm not sure. Maybe also the same case as me. More or less, yeah, to survive. Now it's a harsh world.
So you mentioned to survive, right? So what's your current job in Singapore?
Now a chef. At weekend, weekdays I'm an engineer.
And what's your salary like in Singapore compared to if you were to work in your home country?
Here is higher, definitely higher than my country.
If I were in India, I think the salary would be definitely be much lesser, maybe half of what it is right here.
India also the currency here for us is better than our original country.
The currency it's very different from Brazil, right? So it is very good, but the life here also is very expensive, right? So I think this is the reason we are make some changes for the next year.
So what's your current job?
A helper here in Singapore.
The salary that you earn, what is it like compared to if you were to work in the Philippines in a similar or maybe a different job?
It's more than double. But I'm in the Philippines, I'm not working as a helper. I worked before as work in the something like in the hospital, so I rather work here. Can earn more money.
What is it like to live in Singapore? Is it higher living costs compared to your home country? Can you give some examples like rent or food?
Of course, we are living in Singapore, yeah. The rent is the most expensive. The food-wise also expensive. But if you compare the living cost with the income, it will still have a lot of gap and then still higher than back home. Yeah, even though it's high like this, but you still can have get the subsidies from the government and make things livable.
We don't have a family yet, and we would like to have, let's say, eventually a family or even have dogs eventually. And I think that's where the cost of living really starts to pinch you. Yeah, we probably don't feel it as much yet, but yeah, who knows in the future.
Fries are expensive, so today's lunch I skipped. Yeah, so expensive, but I think Japanese price is low, so it's 仕方ないというか、はい、it's.
So especially if you're willing to shop and eat local, the cost of living compared to where I was in London is a lot more amenable. And I think if you're smart, you can really you can really sort of live very affordably and have a really high quality of life. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about the cost of living here, which a lot of friends who haven't been here or lived here kind of assume about the place. So yeah, I think it's cheap, it's high quality, it's safe. You can walk around at night without being worried about your phone or your wallet going missing.
And what's your favorite thing about living in Singapore and working in Singapore?
Stability, political and financial. Yes.
I never had a car here. I don't drive. Never. I have used my bicycle a lot here. And you can take a taxi, and the public system here is very nice.
A lot of opportunities, a lot of, like growing opportunities for you, like compared to Vietnam. Although Vietnam is is developing right now, but definitely Singapore has so much more opportunity for you.
Since I have a daughter who's 10, so school is one of the important part. So you have a lot of international schools. And other day I was reading and I was quite impressed was I think the government did a pilot test of artificial intelligence, introducing that in primary. And there was this pilot done for grade 5, and now it will be introduced in the state school, which I think it's a pioneer. So they have a focus on education and tech-enabled education.
It's quite easy to live here. A lot of good things, like it's super safe compared to Italy, of course. It's a very good choice, especially with kids. To me, it's perfect. With kids, is perfect. Maybe if you're single, it could be maybe a bit boring, but with family, to me, it's perfect.
How about some challenges? What are the biggest difficulties about living in Singapore?
The weather is challenging, definitely. But this is something just related to me. I really miss mountains because I come from Alps, so here it's a bit too flat.
If only Japanese, communication is good, but if other countries people communication bad and thinking is different, so it's harder to good job.
I feel like the rules here are like so strict. Like sometimes, I just want to get loose a little bit. You gotta find like a right spot to smoke or like to have a smoke break or something like that. So yeah.
I can tell it's a little bit different from my country, because my country, when we go to some concert, some party, the people are more amazed, more excited. I think here in Singapore, the people are more introspective. I think
shy,
it's not don't like, but I think they can enjoy more the life in different way.
Yes.
I think it can get boring sometimes. So again, we've been here so long. It is a small place at the end of the day. There's a lot to do, but it can get boring in that. I've had brunch at the place I had brunch for like 6 years now. So sometimes, it's just small and your options can be limited.
There are actually a lot of different nationalities of expats in Singapore. And do you feel like people from different nationalities are treated differently?
I think that definitely happens to some extent. But hopefully it's not like such a big gap here in Singapore. But really, I haven't been through that myself here. So lucky me, I guess.
You have expat or workers, imported workers and so on. There are different treatments of them. And you have maids and so on that sometimes not get treated very well. But in general, I think it's okay. I think they are considered expats by majority of Singaporeans, and they are respected. Nearly everybody know that they are building the country and taking care of the old people and washing all the cars. So that's the way it works.
Because I've been working here for 20 years, I know already some of them are nice, some are not nice. So it's okay.
So do you have any examples of when people are not so nice and some of examples when people are nice to, let's say, maybe foreign domestic workers from Philippines?
I cannot say, but I think you know already. I don't want to say, but some are rude, especially where they're looking for as a helper, like very low. That's why I just leave it. I work for a nice family now, so everything's fine.
I personally haven't seen that much of a difference, at least from in the world that I operate in. I think an expat is treated similarly compared to other places.
Yeah, I think the same, because I suppose because of the people we've been surrounded by, my team or my company as well is super multinational. I suppose because of the environment I've been in, I haven't seen a lot of difference.
You've already been here for 32, 34 years, right? Do you plan to stay in Singapore, especially because how rental prices have been going up and forcing a lot of expats to leave?
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I have my own condo, so that I bought many years ago. So I'm not thinking about leaving. No.
We've been impacted by friends that are leaving because of the
rents are
rents are crazy. I'm really hoping they don't continue. I'm hoping that they drop, not even plateau.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's definitely a deciding factor, but I think it's one element to cost of living. It is, we've had friends that have gone up 60, 80% price increases in rent. So that's just not,
it's not sustainable.
It wouldn't be the only deciding factor, but it definitely weighs on decision.
I think in the midterm I'm sticking around. Like my wife and I have invested in property here. We feel very comfortable here. Our careers are doing very well here, and my wife is from Singapore, so she still has family that she's close to. So I think for us, there aren't any immediate plans to jump ship. On the flip side, even when we did move, it would be potentially just to have a different kind of life experience, maybe slow down, and to maybe kind of just potentially get a little bit of work-life balance down the sort of the road. But for now, very happy here.
Do you have any advice for people who want to live and work in Singapore?
The advice is make more money.
Work hard, but not too hard, because like the working culture here is taking over Japan. I think like people work so hard here. I mean, I don't think there's like work-life balance here, but I mean, try to integrate it and try to get as much balance as you can.
The only thing that I'd add is just immersing yourself in the culture and the opportunity. I think there's nothing worse than being an expat and moving to a country and then living in a little bubble. So I think my recommendation to someone would be try new things, live in different pockets and in different areas so you really kind of get a sense of Singapore and venture out from, your condo, because there's just so much opportunity.
Or keep an open mind. I mean, that's the way, and try to fit in. Don't be angry with something that you might not understand. So, and read a little bit about it before you take the decisions. Be aware that it is a multi-ethnic and multicultural society where you have to fit in. So be a bit humble.